Hey guys.
Hey, I
How's
hit
it going? Been a little bit.
Goodness. Hey, who are we doing tonight? I didn't see the intro.
Yeah, well, who we're doing tonight, of course we want to keep it a secret. It is Spooktober. So what better thing to do is all of us on here with our abilities, our couple shamans here, why not do one about a black magic killer? His name, Ahmad Suradji. So that's what we're doing today. And he's from Sumatra area of Indonesia. So we're going outside the U.S. You know, there are serial killers other than the U.S. So let's tackle that here in Spooktober and get some of the craziest stories that you'll ever hear, because this guy's story is pretty outrageous.
If there was ever a story that suited this show,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, we've had a lot. I mean, we've had a lot. We've talked about Berkowitz, and he admitted later that he, even though he said he was possessed and he wasn't, in the end he was. He admitted that. And we've had Ted Bundy. People were talking about smelling sulfur and things like that around him, and he said something would take him over, and he had these urges that he couldn't control. But this guy is an Indonesian black magic serial killer. And why did he do the things he did? He actually was active as a serial killer for 11 years.
Oh, God. This guy, I mean, you really look at it, it's hard to find a little history about him, his background. But as we talk about him tonight, there's going to be a lot of things that we're going to touch on that, like Lee was saying, we don't get the opportunity to do something about a serial killer with a supernatural. Our show is Serial Killer Supernatural Murders. So let's do them all. Let's just give it a
all
big
in
hug,
there.
a big spooky October hug, and show you that this guy just fits all the criteria of our show, and this excites us. So this is going to be a good one. But
well, I have an idea, and I messaged Tom about it kind of accidentally. And Lee and audience and Blaine, hopefully he's watching, or we'll go back and watch. Of course, you know, this is for him too. And we'll be so glad when he's back with us.
Yeah.
Yes.
I miss you, man. If you're watching, I miss you. Damn it.
Hashtag Legged Joe.
Legged Joe, man. Legged Joe. But my idea was, hey, why don't we, I call it fun, but I'm warped. So find out what these serial killers, before they died, their last meals.
Yeah.
How random, weird.
Oh,
you know,
wow.
Did they want nachos? Did they want French toast?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it would be interesting, but I'll let you, that's my suggestion.
It would be cool. But let me tell you something even crazier. I got something sent to me via instant message. There's a restaurant that just opened. I don't know exactly where. I think it's in the US. I think Gwen probably sent it to me, but the menu on the menu are all final suppers that people that were executed had before they were put to
Holy
death.
crap.
So
See, I think it would be interesting. I mean,
yeah,
who thinks about that? And I've heard stories of, and Tom, you probably were there when somebody was executed, but how do you pick your last meal? How do you do that?
I don't know. A lot of it goes into a lot of it. There's some that's some of these killers, even the serial killers, down to the last moment, they're still trying to screw with your mind. Where, I don't want anything, or I want a cup of water, and they just want to do it different. They'll see some other serial killer had this. It's like, well, I can't do that. I want to one up them. These killers are always the big ego. They want to one up each other. They want to say they murdered more people when they didn't. And, those types of things that we know with their psychosis. But yeah, I mean, it just changes it up. What better thing to have like an episode of all the different meals? Maybe while we're doing it, I'll be at the stove cooking something. So
okay, why don't you send us some?
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, but the other one I'm looking forward to that we talked about is we're going to have our buddy James Stokes on with us and talk about the influence of real serial killers to movie serial killers. And of course, James Stokes is going to be at Salem Paracon. He is playing the Jason Voorhees in the newer TV show movie called Voorhees, which will be pretty exciting. He's been on Stranger Things. He's produced a lot of stuff, but
he's got a lot more than I thought when I looked.
Yeah, he's a great dude, and I'm looking forward to his take on playing the famous Jason Voorhees serial killer, and see how that corresponds. And maybe we could pick it apart and see who's the real serial killer that is reminded of people of Jason Voorhees, and that'll be fun. Yep.
Yeah, I was looking to see what date he was supposed to be on so I could tell everybody. And
yeah, it's the last Monday of the month, so it's probably going to be around Halloweenish.
I think it's the 27th. So
October there you go.
27th.
Yeah.
Don't miss it. This is a great guy in person, and I'm not.
Yeah,
joking.
but don't miss any of our episodes here in Spookytober, because we're going to go off the rails on the crazy train here. So we're going to be doing all that. But what do you got, Lee? Do you have any background or anything like that? I don't know if she's frozen or not, but
sis, are you frozen?
Yeah. I think she's frozen.
Hold on.
It's okay. So we'll keep talking. But
all right. Well, anyway, I know Lee will be our teacher.
Hear me?
Because she is. Yes, now we can. You froze, babe.
Yeah. Could hear her. There she goes. She's moving now.
Take your background off. Sometimes that'll
my back now.
Make it freeze. Yeah. Sometimes it'll make it freeze if you have the background.
Okay, let me give that a shot.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get back. There we are. I'm back again. Can you see me now? Hear me?
Take the background off
Better?
though, because sometimes that will mess it up.
Okay.
We need to see your beautiful face.
You don't need to see my messed up back door.
Well, look at me. Look at me. Yeah, just so everybody on here knows, I don't talk about my personal life a lot, but I am in Connecticut now, but I'm in the process of moving. As you could see, it's kind of different behind me right now, to the point I packed up all my dishes and things, so I only have these red Solo cups to drink my seltzer out of, which is kind of weird. The other day, I brought something home to eat and realized that I brought most of my silverware already out to Ohio, where I'm moving, and I had to use a plastic spoon that I just, got. Thankfully, I found was still not packed away. Oh yeah, it's been kind of crazy the last couple of days trying to figure things out. So yeah, we're getting there. It's stressful, but being on here with you guys and everybody watching, that just makes it that so much better. And I needed that tonight. I needed to be around my sisses and just everybody watching that loves it.
In person soon.
I know. We'll see you in person. November 15th, everybody. Get online. www.paracon.org. We're going to be Yeah, we're going to be
Yeah.
partying up. We're going to be partying up in Salem. Hopefully we don't get kicked out of anywhere like we did in Connecticut.
Lord, don't even say it.
We should be all
That
right.
was horrible.
Yeah. Oh, that was crazy, but
John
it is memorable.
Travis to the rescue.
Yeah, Johnny Z. Yeah. So
Johnny Z.
yeah, that
All
was
right.
great. So
All right.
Okay, so here's this ugly mug.
okay, let's see him. Oof.
Mm-mm.
All right. Ahmad. Oh, I can't say his last name.
Suradji.
Okay.
Suradji.
Suradji. Yeah.
Yeah, Ahmad Suradji.
Yeah.
Oh, me. Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. Okay, Ahmad Suradji, also known as Duncan AS. That's hilarious. Anyway, he called himself a shaman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Active period was from 1986 to 1997. Now we have to remember, we're talking like bag cell phones,
Mhm.
the internet was for sure dial up, if at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
so this is going to be, this was a hard thing to put together. And we also have to understand that this is Indonesia. So it does not have the modern advances of the United States, especially at that time. So it was very difficult for people to put together that this man was doing these things. Now, check this out. All right. So he called himself a Duncan, which is a shaman, and he claimed a vision from his deceased father commanded him to kill a specific number of women. He said 70 to
It's
gain
actually 72. I didn't mean to interrupt. Sometimes, you get all the information. It's 72 because that's going to be significant as we talk the rest of the night. Yeah, it is 72. Yeah, some of them say 70, but I think the court records did say he said 72, but who knows?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, and this supernatural motive is a black magic ritual. It's central to why he targeted the victims, okay? The way he did it, he lured women to his house. He offered spells / solutions for wealth, beauty, love, prosperity. That's how he made his money. He was like the fairy godmother. You'd go to him and, hey, I want this man to love me. And he would do the spell to help you get what you want. Okay. But he was very, very dark. Very dark. It was not for your benefit. He's going to do exactly what he wants for the reason he wants. Okay. Victims were told to participate in a ritual that required them to be buried up to their waists in a sugarcane field or a quiet place to keep the ritual secret. And once they were immobilized, Suradji strangled them. And then later he buried many victims on or near their property. Police later exhumed mass graves. And some accounts said he collected body fluids, saliva, blood. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about what we're talking about so far?
So I know sorry to interrupt you, but it is 72 because that's significant. We'll talk about that. But 42 bodies were exhumed. It's a sugarcane field. So, we had another serial killer we picked up on a sugarcane field where he burned himself. But I don't know what it is about sugarcane fields and murderers outside the U.S., but that's crazy. The saliva and all that comes from a vision he had. 1986, when this all started, he said his dead father came to him and said that he needed to murder 72 people or 72 women and drink their saliva so he could have the ultimate, power as a Dukin and a shaman. Dukin and shaman, same thing. It's like, some Native Americans, they'll say they're healer, they'll say the medicine man, Dukin, whatever. It's all different, but it's all still the healer of the village that we all talk about that has supposed magical powers and could talk to the other side of the veil. But yeah, it was pretty disgusting. Now, the other thing that gets me is this Ahmad Suradji. He was a cattle breeder in his practice and really wanted to, get better at his Dukin abilities, his shamanistic abilities, his black magic. He would do anything. It's almost like be careful what you wish for. the father's vision came. Was it a vision of the greater good? Probably not. Was it his father? Might not have been. Could have been what we talked about. You'd be careful who you're talking to, especially in that area. There are, we have discussed in the past, jinns, especially this kind of area, Indonesia, into that Middle Eastern and all that. You know, you got to be careful. You wish for certain things and bad things could happen. You could wish to a jinn for $1 million and you wake up the next morning and there's 1 million deer walking in your front yard. But it could get bad. Now, I think the crazy part is all these women that he lured to his house, they were all looking for spells for monetary gain and for beauty and, you know, just things that weren't of the greater good, really, you know, for improvement. And you got to be careful what you wish for. And unfortunately, this guy became the catalyst of wishing for those things, and they got themselves in a position of being buried halfway up and then strangled and murdered and buried in a sugarcane field. I'm not going to fault them for that, but it just made it easier for this guy, for all his victims, to try and get to that number that his father told him in the vision, 72. Now, what do you guys think of that number? What does that bring up? You're thinking of that area or that type of religion in Sumatra and that area of the world. What comes to mind? You know, our viewers out there, if they could chime in. 72 is very significant, and there she is. So kisses, but that number is very significant in all religious backgrounds. So if you take it, a lot of the Muslims believe that if they sacrifice themselves, they have 72 virgins waiting for them at the end. Now, there's other religions where, you know, there's a certain building where they worship, where the planes on the building has they layer equals 72 at the top, meaning perfect enlightenment. So any of these religions you look at, the 72 is significant because it basically, all the religions, it leads to the number that leads to enlightenment. Okay. Mm-hmm. So if this guy had to kill 72, there you go. 72 names of the good, 72 angels, 72 demons. Yes. So every religion, it leads to enlightenment or all knowing. So I think that's why the number came through, that if he killed these 72 people, he would be at perfect enlightenment and at that perfect ability to be able to be the ultimate Dugan, shaman, healer, whatever.
Yeah, Stacia was just saying 72 names of God, 72 angels, 72 demons. There's also 72 sects of Islam, 72 martyrs of Kabbalah, and 72 names of God, and it's the breath of divine manifestation. So, there's a lot of holy things, symbolic in relation to 72.
So this is where the mindset is now. So he thinks he's having a vision from his father, but as you grow up, who influences you the most for your religion? It's usually your parents, okay? Mm-hmm. So when he's having a religious breakthrough or a religious break, where he's manifesting his mind and his thoughts of the negative, and he puts the connotation to religion, there are people that serial killers that murder for religious purposes. Well, the devil told me to do it. God made me do it. You know, this guy's saying my father told me to do it. But again, as we look in the spirit world, when we get visions like that, and it's coming from something we don't understand, what do we usually do? We manifest, our thoughts manifest into what we know, who we know, and we put that person, attach it to it. So if I took two people into a room, they both saw the same energy and took them out, they both were brought up differently. They've seen things differently. But if I put them in separate rooms, they're going to describe that energy differently, even though they both saw it at the same time, because their mind can't make sense of what is coming in. So I'm on my journey. I'm listening to this vision, this voice, and I'm trying to make sense of it, of what I know. And it sounds religious to me. And I manifest that. I used to go to church with my dad all the time. So maybe it's my dad telling me to do this, my dead dad. You know, that's kind of what happens with people, how the mind twists sometimes, or the trauma that he went through that I couldn't really see what he went through, but seeing that this made sense to him and he went about doing it. Yeah, there's some kind of stuff there going on. Maybe some abuse from the father, and that abuse might have been religious based, that we found out about the girl that went through an exorcism in Germany that ended up passing away, that we talked about on one of the episodes. The same thing, you're punished with religion, and that can manifest into later on, you know, our mind, that psyche going crazy, and then all of a sudden this is what it develops into. So, if
Well,
that makes sense.
it does. I know that he came from an extremely impoverished life.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was extremely poor. His whole family was. And he had a very, very small education. I mean, he was in elementary school. So he was just semi-literate, but he did have he was very manipulative. Okay.
Mm.
And he is, even though I need to get your opinion on this. It seems like he's obsessed with the ritual of it, but that doesn't feel like that's it. This is being able to consume these women's essence, to me, was like an evil um communion.
Mm-hmm.
Like he wanted to consume their essence so that, hey, you ask for money, you ask for power. You know, who are you to ask me these things? Because look how I've suffered. But you know what? I'm going to take it back. Not only did I give it to you, but I'm taking it back. So it was more like, I'm God. You know, I'm
Yeah.
playing God, or I've got the power. And that's what he seemed to be drunk on, the power,
Yeah.
wanting more. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I wanted to get you, your input. I don't know.
Well, it is psychologically. We grow up with nothing, and then
Mhm.
when we get to the point, some people that grow up with nothing, when they have the ability or the manipulation to gain power, that becomes a big thing. They become more manipulative to get those things. Because yeah, when you're growing up, you got to beg, steal, and lie to stay alive. But then you get to a point, you're in a position. It's like, okay, now I could do this type of stuff, and you take control of that. A lot of these people, like Jim Jones, grew up poor and all that, and had to beg and run around the streets. He was naked because they didn't have clothes, and they were just trying to keep. He grew up and started a cult. It's, you gain that, you miss out on something, then you have the ability and to let it grow as you get older into something, because of his control of being able to help the village out or the women that came to him. Now he gets drunk on that, and now
Right.
he has power. So, and now he's like, oh, I never had this before. And then they don't
Right.
know what to do with it, especially
Right.
with somebody with a low education doesn't know what to do with it psychologically. Because a lot of times school, you learn stuff, but you also learn how to be with society too. And there's little lessons there. Are all people growing up in school get that? No, we're all different psychologically. Some people love school, some people hate school, but there's still that camaraderie of the people that you meet, the teachers that you remember. It helps you when you miss out on a lot of that stuff. It's hard to put yourself into society properly. I know we need to have our own opinions about what happens. We're on our own journeys, but still there is that influence. If you have no influence, it's just you and your thoughts and your environment. So if you're dirt poor and all that's all you know, and then all of a sudden you get something thrown in your lap, you're like, oh, you don't know what to do with it. Unfortunately, I
Right.
see it happen in sports. Some of these people, they play sports their whole life. They're working hard at it, but then all of a sudden somebody throws millions of dollars at them, and then it's over. You're Aaron Hernandez and all those people. Hey, you got all this money, you got responsibility, leave that life, but they can't. Now they have all this money, now they're blowing it, and they make it even worse for themselves. So that's another thing in how these psychological things work when you don't have anything, and then you have something, and then you don't know what to do with it properly.
Hmm.
That's
Mhm.
true.
Also, did you know he was a polygamist?
Yeah, he had 3 wives.
Two
And
were sisters.
Yeah, there were sisters. Crazy. But one of them actually was helping him with bury the bodies. So she went when he was brought to court and all that. She was also. Um, I don't know what her outcome was, but I know what his outcome was, and that's the crazy thing is us in the U.S. A lot of states don't have the death penalty. There's very few, and it's usually lethal injection. They make it, hey, oh, let's do it nice. This guy, firing squad. So
Yes, by
line them
firing
up, get a whole
squad.
bunch of people. One of the guys has a bullet, the others don't, and bye bye. So firing squad. So, you know, uh, I don't talk about politics, anything like that. But hey, you commit a crime that heinous, you should get a heinous check out yourself. So, but
Well,
that's just me. I
he
won't
did
argue
what he
about that.
did.
You can believe in whatever you want, but that's just me, and I have every right to believe in what I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But yeah, 42 people this guy killed, thinking that his rituals would make him more powerful.
Mhm.
That's crazy.
So
You know,
as a kid, people described him as moody, arrogant, and hot-minded, quick temper.
yeah.
And the police have records of him charging people for charms and love spells when he was in his 20s,
Mhm.
before any of the murders started. And he had lots of romantic and sexual relationships. So, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all these serial killers, all these murders. Every time we talk about them, it's like a big onion to peel back.
Yes, it
Um,
is.
But the thing is all the different things, their childhood, what they do as they get older, the different people that come in and out of their lives, their influences and all that. Yeah, there's patterns and all that, but man, all that stuff, you roll it in there, it's a perfect storm. So you
That's
never
so
know what you're
sad.
going to get out of somebody. We all go through trauma growing up. We all go through it. I keep talking about it. I'm like a broken record, but what was that one thing of that perfect storm that made the screw go like that and become the monster? So that's the thing that fascinates me, and even in the paranormal, it's the same thing, the supernatural. What's that one perfect storm that made that thing manifest to let it know it was there? And what our minds do to try and make sense of it. Same thing with
That's
Sarah's. Like, we sit here talking about this because we feel we're normal. I know we're all weirdos. We're glorious weirdos. But the
Mhm.
thing is our minds go and say, what makes them do that?
Yeah.
So it fascinates us in a way. But it also, it's like you watch the train wreck.
Yeah.
You feel bad for everything that happens, but you got to watch. That's
Yeah.
just the way our society is. But yeah, it's so difficult, but so crazy at the same time that we talk about all these people. In the meantime, the people that lose their lives to these people and all that, and that's why we do the show again. Another thing we talk about a lot is this is stuff you look out for. Know what you're getting into. Know the person you're going to see to maybe supposedly get a love spell and all that. I really think people out there that do go, it's a big part of us as Wardruna, where people are getting help, and talking to psychic mediums and our, spiritual healers and all that other stuff. Never ask for anything monetary. All right. You should ask for healing.
Hmm.
Ask for the greater good. Don't ask for money. Don't ask for love, because even though there's dark spirits waiting for you to ask for those things, I think in my mind, and they're
Yes.
waiting for you to open the door and ask the wrong thing and then make it go a different direction. Yeah, it may come to you, but then in the end, I know there you have to answer to something afterwards for asking for something like that, and that goes for all religions, all beliefs.
Yeah.
And yeah, wish
Maybe
wish
that happened
for
to him.
yeah. So that's why they make movies about it with genies and stuff.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. So yeah, you gotta, devil went down to Georgia, you got to answer to something. So, but make sure you do it for the greater good.
So, I know what he ate for his last meal.
What?
He refused any sweets or elaborate dishes.
Mm-hmm.
He said plain food is enough. The spirits need no feast. He asked for a plate of rice with some chicken and a cup of tea. That's it. And
Interesting.
he fasted intermittently before his execution, saying he wanted to purify his body. And he performed rituals and prayers, and he recited the Quran before being let out. He was buried facing Mecca, and a small
Yeah.
number of family members did go to his burial. And so he was executed and then taken back to his town where he was raised.
Wow.
And locals refused to allow his burial in the family cemetery. They feared his spirit might haunt the area. So
Yeah.
he was buried in a separate grave under guard, and some villagers placed salt and white stones around it. That's an Indonesian practice for restless spirits,
Mm.
against restless spirits. And he would have that.
Yeah.
So,
I firmly believe, just looking at this case and cases had before, and cases that we've answered with Wardruna, with the jinns and all that. I think this guy, what happened in '86 because of his religious backing, the Muslim and all that, doing the Quran, those types of things, that's where the jinn come in. And the jinn, again, they're around us.
yes, they are.
But they're just like us. They still have something to answer to. But again, you got to be careful of how you have a relationship with a jinn when they're around you. Not all of them are bad, but of course, not all of them are good. That's where genies stem from the lore of the jinn, and they become attached to you. And yeah, the jinn could appear to you whatever it wants, the way it wants to appear. Could appear to you in a dream as your father telling you to kill 72 people and drink their saliva so you could get magical powers. My thing is, what did this Ahmad Suradji wish for before this all started? That's the time in '86 when he had the vision. What kind of magic was he doing? We ended up calling him the Black Magic Killer, but what led up to that point in '86 to change his trajectory? What did he invite in supernaturally?
That's right.
Yeah.
He did animal sacrifices.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and he offered the blood to the spirits, from
Yeah.
the animals, and he did dream invocation because he wanted to communicate with ancestral spirits, and that's how his father's ghost came into his life. But I don't believe that was his father's ghost.
No, I think something took advantage of when you do ritualistic prayer and all that on a daily basis. Again, people don't understand. We look at you look on TV and demons this. There's so many different things that we deal with. The jinn is different. It's not really a demon per se, but it could present that way, has an incubus, succubus, whatever you want to think about, going onto the supernatural side of things. But you really have to be careful of when you're doing this type of practice, especially as a shaman, or in this guy's case, they called it the Dukin and all that, which is basically the higher or the magical power, especially in the Indonesia area. But those are the things you got to be careful of, because if you're inviting that in, or they see that you're asking for that in prayer, it's going to take its opportunity. You left the door open. Remember, don't invite stuff in if you don't know what you're dealing with. And that's what our viewers are watching now. Even when we go on these paranormal investigations, yeah, we're trying to communicate, but if you don't know your history and what you might be communicating with beforehand, you just don't want to go into a place willy-nilly. Or if you're trying to up your level as a spiritual healer, you still got to be careful too, because you're opening up a lot more than a normal person. You're calling in more of the universe as opposed to something as an individual trying to communicate with a spirit. You got to be very careful. And I think in this case, I don't know the whole puzzle piece, but to me, the feeling I'm getting from my spirit guides is this guy talked to the wrong thing and invited something in, and then everything took off. He was already at a negative. How he grew up, you said that, he was kind of an angry, anger and negativity is a very strong thing. But remember, the two strongest emotions are fear and love. Those are almost like the counterparts and all that. So we have to really be careful of those things. If this guy was without love, of course, the fear and the negativity is going to take over. You got to be careful with how you practice, your ritualistic practices and all that, because that's when you really open up your candle magic, your whatever and all that. So, yeah, Brandon, I don't know about you, buddy, but so I don't think they're waiting for you. They said or you could have 72 virgins waiting to spoon the gnome. So that's a lot of spooning. There we go, Leg of Joe. So
Leg of Joe, we missed you, Blaine. We missed you, Blaine. We love you.
Yeah. But yeah, we could really rip this apart.
Male versions is what.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brandon, you will not.
Yeah. There you go.
So I wanted to throw this out there too. He did graveyard rituals. He murdered as a ritual sacrifice. I want to make this clear. I'm not saying anything about the Muslim religion. I have dear friends that are Muslim, and the fact that he identified as a Muslim does not mean that he was Muslim. No,
exactly.
What he did, and I know Mo would be tripping out right now because his family is Muslim, and he did not align himself with anything that was witchy, people going against God's, will. Okay. But what this man did, Ahmad Suradji, what he did was he synchronized black magic rites in with the Islamic law.
Yeah.
So he hid behind the Islamic law, but then did something totally different. Okay.
Yeah.
What he did was it was an Indonesian type of black magic called ilmu hitam. Ilmu hitam. And he said,
what did I do?
he said, "He's told the police that he spoke to the spirits of my father and the earth, and they showed me the way. I took what was mine."
That's a big statement right there. I took what was mine. A lot goes on, especially in relationships and all that. A relationship goes, and then at the end of the relationship, sometimes people that don't communicate and they want more, they try and take it from you. Even though they didn't earn it, so they want to take it from you. That taking, I always feel, is a negative, because what they want, again, is that monetary thing. It isn't, it isn't peace. I want to get peace or something. I want this. I want that. I want, God forbid, it happens all the time with families. Their matriarch or patriarch pass away. Then, I want this today. I want this. I deserve this because I was the best child and all this other stuff. Yeah, that's a psychological thing. People think that they're entitled to certain things, and that's the sad thing about. I remember when my dad passed away, I was like, I didn't want anything. I just want the memories. I want to be able to talk to my dad, but that wasn't going to happen. But I just wanted that peace. That's more what it was from, the relationship we had. But, all these different people, their relationships lead them to a certain degree to what we're talking about too. But I really don't think he was talking to his dad, and I firmly believe that.
Did anybody ever find out if his dad, maybe that's where he learned to kill, not just hearing it? Do we know?
Very possible. That's a
great
point.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. In that religion, the male is a big, big
but I'm not sure if his father was a proclaimed duke either, or shaman or whatever. It doesn't say anything about that. I
couldn't find anything. But
I couldn't find anything. Yeah, there's got to be an alternative way to be able to research this that just didn't have time to do.
Right.
But there's got to be something somewhere that hopefully we could figure that out.
Well-
Anybody out there that's a good researcher, let us know. But
I did want to throw this out there too. There was a big theological standpoint on all of this, as you can imagine, because the Islamic theology, they were mortified.
Yeah.
Okay, his acts were considered, blasphemous. In fact, Indonesian clerics even said that he was not a Muslim; he was a heretic, and he used Allah's name for evil.
Yeah.
And then the Almada Council of the North Sumatra later issued statements that said, please don't confuse Duncan Ilum Hitam, the dark shamans, with Islamic healers.
Mhm.
So there was a big thing there, and I think that's why he had such a public, why he was shot,
Yeah.
by firing squad. You see this is what happens when
Well,
he
this is for
represented.
everything. This is for everything that we talk about. It's not the religion's fault.
Mm-mm.
It's the person that takes the religion and molds it to themselves to try and gain some control or some power and all that. They bastardize
Yes.
a perfectly good, organized like religion. I'm a spiritual person, but for us, when we go into a case, I have to know more about all the different religions because that's the energy that's given off by maybe a client in their home and what is affecting them. I have to have respect for that. And for somebody that's having a psychosis and doesn't have respect for that, but uses that to, claim that what I'm feeling is because of this, they're trying to make themselves look better by making the religion the bad guy or the bad girl or whatever you want to refer to it.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what happens with some of these people, especially these serial killers that say God told me to do it. Yeah, they may believe that in their psychosis, but most normal people know that I don't think God's going to tell you to go, or even your dad's going to tell you to go kill 72 people. I think it's just an excuse. So, a lot of people that have power, narcissists, those types of people, they're always looking to blame it on somebody else. So they have a background of, I'm going to kill all these people, and if I ever get caught, I'm going to blame it on this. So they're looking for an out. And they're always looking for an out instead of saying, hey, maybe I should get some help because I'm screwed up thinking this way. Maybe I should take responsibility for how I'm acting and, no, instead of taking the easy way out and thinking, oh, I'll just make excuses and hopefully I could get away with it, as opposed to doing the hard thing and talking to the right people and putting myself on a better trajectory. That's the problem. If somebody doesn't recognize in you and is friendly enough or cares about you enough to get you that help, then God forbid for our society. So,
That's true.
I
okay, I'm
do.
off my soapbox.
Yeah. I do want you guys to know that there's a little bit more of supernatural in this besides
Oh,
the
good.
obvious.
Yeah.
Okay, so because he had been a part of harvesting, they felt like he was planting these women out there like he was planting a plant or like corn or sugarcane or whatever.
Right.
Mhm.
And then he was harvesting them. I mean, this was, literally what he was doing. And as the plantation where he had lived, as the people they had to dig all the bodies out and all this stuff. And I mean, it was an awful, awful mess. And the people that were involved with that were witnesses that participated in trying to retrieve these bodies for their families, they said that the place felt alive, quote unquote, with heavy air, and they smelled faint perfume. And
Mhm.
they believe that is actually an Indonesian folklore that if a woman spirit is nearby and they are wandering, that lure. But anyway, the smell of perfume is how they would be making themselves known. And
Yeah.
the workers that were exhuming these 42 bodies heard whispering, and they heard women crying, and then they'd suddenly just get hit with nausea and just throw up. Just out of nowhere, they're feeling fine, doing their job, haven't come across anything yet, and all of a sudden, bam, they're puking. And there is a prayer called the Talil, which is an Islamic prayer for the dead. And they were constantly doing this every night, every morning. And then animals around the plantation where he lived started dropping dead when they were exhuming the bodies. They're just dropping dead.
Hmm.
And then people that lived around the plantation where he lived, where he did this thing, they had dreams of their daughters that pointed to a man in the field, and his mouth was completely black, like it was rotted.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it was going all over, the town.
Yeah.
And so they had to do all kinds of, the demonic level at the plantation went off the chain. They had to fight through prayer and ritual purification. They had to have a Quran a recitation type thing for 7 nights before they could resume, going back over the graves and trying to resolve the case.
Yeah.
They sprinkled over the graves to break pacts with the spirits. So they would sprinkle water over it. They had to do Islamic exorcisms over the land, and the lingering jinn they believed was connected to this whole thing.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is even though Suradji was finally executed, that jinn that was part of him or influencing potentially is going to keep prison over these women that he killed for black magic and his possibly honor or whatever.
Yeah.
Those are things we have to look at. Now, significance of people just have to realize when you're looking at the demonic, a lot of times it tells you a lot more if it presents like a figure in the field with just the mouth blacked out. That's significant because the black mouth, your teeth, every those things, if you ever think of that, that's your truth.
That's your truth.
So when it's blacked out, that means it's not the truth. So something, wrong there is when, we want the truth, but when that's taken away, that creates fear too, when people, especially just, again, I don't want to get political, but we watch a lot of stuff on TV, the news comes on, and are they telling the full truth anymore?
Mm-hmm.
If you put false stuff out there enough, it creates our society to start imploding on itself. So when there's lack of truth, there's falsehoods, it creates chaos. And that's what, the demonic in that area is going to want to do because of what happened there. So it's going to create chaos by taking the truth away. And that's, from my knowledge and all that, my years of doing this, is exactly what I see, through the mind's eye of what this thing's trying to do.
Also, if somebody has rotten teeth and rotten mouth, it's indicative in a dream that they spoke not just the truth, but they spoke evil.
Yes.
And they brought evil. And so it was as if it's not him actually speaking to those people. It's the creator saying this man was evil. It's like, renting billboards saying this man is, awful. He's evil and he's been dealt with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is weird, and I really think about what you're telling me. And those are the things that make me sad. And knowing myself as a shaman, and my main thing, as I've told you guys before, I help the living and the dead. My main purpose, I think what was given was to help the dead, realize that they can make that transition.
Yeah.
And be away from the negative or whatever's holding whatever's chained them there from these rituals, to be able to break those chains and give them the ability and the free will to be able to make that transition. from what you're telling me, we don't know. We weren't there. We don't know everything everybody's went through. But
Right.
it sounds to me that doing all these rituals still, but nobody's, you could do all the rituals. You're standing there is like, well, I'm still stuck.
Mhm.
Help me. I got murdered and I don't realize I'm dead. Who's there to help me? And that energy on that land, when you don't know you're dead and you got all these people wandering around and giving off their perfume smells, those are the things that you have to deal with. And to me, I know other countries, they all have their different things, and I'm not going to fault them for that. But I think there is no closure for these people that passed away. Again, they're just wandering. That second death that could happen to them. We all know the first death is when we die, our meat suit leaves. The second death is when nobody ever assists us or says our name ever again. So we have to do that for these people. So, we know what these guys' name is, but there's very few of these women that are really named in this when I was doing the research. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's what has to happen. I think for that land to be back to less negative and more positive. Yeah, that's something that has to be done. It's got to be relieved of that history. And it could be done. And a lot what you're saying is a lot of the animals are passing away, and those animals on that land were part of this guy because he was the cattle breeder. So of course the negative from the people that he killed are getting back at him by taking away the livestock, even though they may not know he's passed away from being, you know, shot with the firing squad, but still, that's kind of what we look like. Yeah, we talk about this now. Because again, I always say we have our meat suits, but there's still consciousness, I think, in the spirit world
Oh,
where they're
sure.
still trying to make sense of stuff. And I still think they're trying to make sense, and that's why so much stuff is happening on that land, and that needs to come to a close. And I wish I had money to go travel to all these places and give my best effort to help the situation. But, I'm just hoping anybody hears this, passes on to this. You never know who watches our show. Maybe you hope that by a miracle, somebody might hear that and just do the right thing and see if that works.
Um, I wanted to, I'm trying to search and see what's going on with that plantation land now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was in Delhi, Serdang in northern Sumatra, Indonesia,
Mm-hmm.
and they did exhume 42 bodies. And I'm trying to find it. It's still sugarcane.
Yeah. It's hard because a lot of times, as a healer, if somebody was buried somewhere and not under the right circumstances and all that, a lot of people need to know. It's just like soul retrieval. When you retrieve and you get rid of the negative, you got to fill it with a positive. So you unbury these people, but yet you didn't fill that void where they were buried with something to make sure that the negativity doesn't stay there. So you really got to be careful of those things too. When a body's exhumed under the wrong circumstances because of a murder and somebody trying to hide it, yeah, you have to seal that because all their energy is in that spot at that moment. So, and that's another thing we have to look at, ritualize, or just us with the knowing that something's got to be done. So I think a lot of 42 graves or whatever there have created a lot of energy underground into the substance of that land. So that's a big thing on the supernatural side of that.
And it's still a farm or whatever they call it with the
Yeah,
sugar cane.
I'm still looking.
Yeah, it's like sugar cane, I think it was, which
it was
is big in that
sugarcane.
area. So
I did find a newspaper article that said that they do have a memorial there
mhm.
for the people that died, but it's not like a ghost attraction or anything like that, or it's just, put it this way, it just disappeared. And I think it's from the political aspect of all of
Mhm.
this, because I'm sure that these two different religions, the theologians from those two different religions that were, so insulted by his actions and the things he said and did, I'm sure they had a peeing contest, trying to figure out how
Yeah.
to miss out. So
Well, that's what we think. We look at that when the
it's not in the
religious leaders
newspaper.
say this.
There's no videos, no.
Some religious leaders, I got to look at it. I'm not going to fault them.
I'm actually
because,
trying to translate.
Yeah. But religious leaders, you can't fault them because really when you look at it this way, it has dealing with the 1%, dealing with the real demons of this realm or anything like that. The worst thing that you could do is give it energy and keep talking about it. You want to take their power away. It's like a fire. Once I take the oxygen away, the fire goes away.
Yeah.
But if you relight it with giving it what it wants is energy, and you got to be careful of that. So a lot of religions, they want to avoid that type of thing. So whatever happened. They don't want to talk about it anymore because they don't want to bring that evil back into it because it could create something else. That's the way I think they would look at it. We could look at it that way, but there are so many different approaches to this situation. But us as shaman and all that do know the difference, and especially when we're in spiritual battle. Once spiritual battle is shut down and we took care of the situation, the 1% or wherever we were dealing with, you never talk about it again. That's the problem. A lot of problem with the paranormal right now is everybody wants to see the big D. And, if you really have seen the big D, then, you don't talk about the big D anymore. So that's what worries me about, our paranormal side that we do. But just even with the supernatural side of things that people have to understand. Again, don't play with things you don't understand. Leave it to people that understand it and can discern properly. And that way these situations don't come about like they do. I'm not going to go in and do heart surgery because I don't know what I'm doing. Just because I saw it on a TV show doesn't mean I'm going to be a great heart surgeon. I have to go through all the training. I got to get the experience. Same thing out there. Just because you watch a show about running around and talking to ghosts doesn't mean you just go out there and do it. You got to know the circumstances of what could happen. And especially for somebody practicing as a shaman or a dukin, whatever this guy self-proclaimed was, probably put him in a situation. Now, 42 people are dead and he's had a firing squad on him. So.
It does say, I did find a little something in a newspaper article. I had to translate it. It says this, basically this newspaper article said that the land, what was the plantation, is under new ownership. PTP Nusantara, Nusantara, so New Santara Plantation Company. And that's it. That's the end. That's all we got.
Jeez. So it's under new ownership, and you worry about that.
Really it up.
Yeah. Well, you worry about it. A place like that had that negativity, and some of these people that have money and they buy it. What's their intention? That's the thing I always worry about. You have all these like locations and all that. I know it's in the news now. I won't mention the certain locations, but we all know when you buy these locations, what is your intention? All right. If you have the wrong intention, again, just like this, be careful what you wish for, be careful of your intention, because it may not be what you want back. That's the thing I tell people a lot, and I keep seeing it because I have visions. I do see things before they're going to happen. Are they going to happen? I don't know. We still have free will. We could change it. But, when I give you the message, if I say, if you do this, this is probably what's going to happen. So if you change that, then that probably may not happen. But if you don't listen, then it comes to fruition. Then you're like, yeah, you were right. I should have listened. That's usually what you hear. But the thing is there's a lot of historical places right now that we've investigated and that we've got a lot of information from that, right now are being bought. And, even, I don't want to name them all, but it's not just ones in the news right now, ones in the past that are bought that are making it difficult for us to be able to investigate, to help the spirits there, or just to help people learn the proper way on how to deal with the spirits. That's being taken away from us as a community by people that may not know what they're playing with. And again, I'll get off my soapbox again, but that's just me without
Well,
directly saying, but I think the people watching, when you know, you know. So,
yeah, that's right. So
yep.
let's look at this ugly mug again.
Ugh.
All right, there he is.
I think I threw up a little in my mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine going to
Yeah.
him thinking that he's going to change your life and you're going to
Yeah.
pay him and do whatever he wants to
Yeah.
get what you want.
Look
Yep.
at those eyes. I would
I
no.
know it.
I would never have went to somebody for something like no.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
That's the other red flag. As you get in this and all that, there's that look. You can't hide your soul and what's inside you, your intention. If you look at somebody in their eyes and all that, they can't hide. It's the same thing. I look in people's eyes, I know when they have an attachment because you can't hide it. Even no matter how hard that familiar demon or that attachment is, you can't hide. We see you. So,
Mhm.
if I come up to somebody and you hear and I go after, you'll hear me off to the side under a small voice. Even when I'm talking to the person, I'll mouth, I see you. Because I want to let that thing know that's inside of somebody that I see it. And
Mhm.
that person has free will, and it's a matter of getting them in the right direction to hopefully take away that. But, and again, just like what we're talking about tonight, you see those red flags. Hopefully, people learn and you teach, and what your experiences are. Are we the best at it? No, nobody is. So, paranormal, supernatural, yeah, we don't know. But there is experience, and we've gone through a lot of stuff, all of us. So, when we do this show and give the information, run with it the way you want to. But again, I use it as fair warning. I've made enough mistakes in my life on this journey. And when I say you may not want to do that, means I probably already did it and suffered some consequences that still affect me to this day. But I had to make peace with that. And because I did, I think it gives me the ability and the knowledge to be able to pass that along, saying, hey, if you do this, this is what's going to happen. So, that's what we have
So,
to be careful of.
I have an idea about the next guy.
Ooh, what are we going to do this?
Ready? All
What do we
right.
got? What do we got for next week, Phineas and Ferb? What are we going to do?
Herb Mullen, the earthquake prophet.
Oh, I love this guy. Not that I love him as a, you know what I mean.
See,
Yeah.
That's a
look at
good
his
one.
eyes. It's always the eyes. Look at the eyes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
it is.
All right. So this guy, what in the
Herb
heck?
Mullen.
Don't say we can't give it away. Nobody will watch us next week.
Oh yeah.
Oh, don't give it away.
Yeah, yeah. If you say any too much right now, we might get an earthquake. So let's see.
Yeah. We've
Yeah,
already had plenty in South Carolina. We don't need any more.
yeah, no more of those. Let's yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this guy's this guy's another Fruit Loop. So, but there's an interesting story behind this one that everybody watching right now, make sure you catch up with us next Monday, and you'll hear all about it.
Yep. Do us a favor.
Mm-hmm.
Please like, share, subscribe, all the things that you do, for people that are online, because, we do this and it's a labor of love
Yeah,
and we need your support. So if
And
you
tell
belong to
people.
any,
Tell
please
people.
tell people.
yeah.
Tell
I
people.
keep,
Say, come
I
watch.
keep smiling. I see Rinaldi. Bless his little heart. I see his little ears.
Well, he has been a little
Oh,
gremlin while we've been on the show, y'all. He
yeah,
has flipped his water over,
yeah.
potty twice in the floor,
Oh,
Uh-oh.
and dumped his plate over. He wanted attention.
yeah,
Yes,
that
he
happens.
did.
Yeah. But I'm glad everybody tuned in tonight, whatever they watched. And I know, me personally, a lot of the stuff I shared with you all tonight, I usually don't. That's more for private teachings of people and how to deal with the spirit world. Um, hopefully you gain something from it. And, that's not something I do a lot. And I think I always feel safe with my two ladies here. And, but it is, take it for what it is. And again, that's how I perceive things. That's how I learned. I've learned from some of the best over the years with their knowledge. I gained their knowledge, got my building blocks, made my mistakes so I could turn around and help others. So that's what that's what our people are about. Somebody's got to teach somebody, the next generation coming, and we have to do it the right way.
You guys
Or
have taught
or we're in
me.
trouble. Yeah, there you go.
And you and
Yeah,
Blaine and
yeah,
Matt and other folks.
Yeah.
And Brandon, even you, would you little, know himself.
Well, it is. It's like, think about it, Gwen. You went off on your own after learning from people like Lee, myself,
Yep.
Blaine, Matt, and all that. You became comfortable to do the walkabout.
Yep.
Because you learned how to ground yourself by somebody like Matt teaching you, and just the things to look out for, like Leah's taught you about how to perceive, and then maybe what I taught you on how to discern.
Yep.
But those are the
And
big things. That's what we do for each other. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And that's why I felt safe doing it. But
Yeah.
I will tell you this, I have figured something out through my sis and my brother and my other brothers and Blaine and then even Brandon. I used to get the worst paranormal hangovers, and and now I don't. I have learned how to get through that. So I am growing every day, and it's thanks to all of you guys.
Yeah. Good. So, and we hope people that watch the show, it helps them grow too, what they learn. I know we're talking about serial killers, supernatural murderers. I know most of us on here, our main background's been supernatural and paranormal. But again, we all have that other background of the true crime and being able to look into the minds of people. But again, they're not that much different. A serial killer, the supernatural side of it, how we break down the mind, how everything works. And none of us are ever 100% right or wrong about it. That's what makes it exciting, and it makes it exciting to watch and hear what people have to say, how they've come to this point, everything they've learned, all the mistakes they made up to this point, just for us to be able to share. And again, like I said, I think I shared a lot tonight. I usually don't. I'm very private about that stuff. Again, I try to keep it simple. I'm here to help the living and the dead, help my clients, help spirit. Sometimes when we're on air and we share too much, people get judgmental and they start pointing the finger at you. But again, everybody out there, paranormal, supernatural, it happens to you individually.
Mm-hmm.
What you perceive is for your own individuality. Case in point, like I've told you guys before, when I go on and give a talk about my experiences, the first thing I'll say is like, when we put our little warning, hey, you might hear different words. But when I go out, I said, everything I'm about to tell you happened to me. You don't need to believe it, but this is what I experienced. This is my perception. I'm going to share it with you now. Whether you take something from it, great. If you don't, that's just me telling stories and you taking from it on your journey that might help you or might make something go off in your brain that helps you on your own path. That's what it's about, to be a healer, to be a shaman. So, be the light. Exactly.
Be the light.
Yep. I tell you, that dog is the light tonight right there. So look at that.
Precious. I just love him.
Is his tongue going to hang out too, or?
A little bit.
Is his tongue hanging out a little bit?
He's old, but I'm gonna tell you, he's gained weight. My parents have fed him and fed him.
Good. That's awesome. So, but
You a mess.
He forgets to eat.
Yeah.
I do too. So he gets it from me.
Yeah. Love for Blaine. Yeah. There's a lot of people out there, a lot of people have chimed in. They're on their trying to get healthier on their health journey to get back to well, none of us are ever going to be normal. We're all weirdos anyways, but that's because we don't like being in the norm,
Nope.
Screw the king. We're all weirdos. But hopefully everybody's ready for Spooky-tober, and everybody's enjoying the great month. Let's honor our dead, of course, this month. So that's the biggest thing. So remember what it kind of really is about, but enjoying just all the cool things that happen in October. Again, a lot of us here. Yeah.
We should dress up on the show.
I know. Maybe James will come on with his Jason mask on to do the episode.
He might.
Oh, yeah, he's got it. He could.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Hold on. On the 27th, I know why don't we, I don't know. Like, ask James, will he give away an autographed picture or something? Just something, something extra for the people, because it is.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah.
I bet he would.
Yeah.
We'll have some trick or treats.
Yeah.
You know, we'll have some trick or treats, and as people watch,
Well, the
maybe
best thing would be was if anybody wins anything on the goodie day, it's only a couple weeks later, they could retrieve their gift at Salem
In person.
Paracon in
I
Salem,
love
Massachusetts in
that.
person.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
That's
it's
a
because
great
we got,
idea.
yeah. So if anybody watches, I think if they win, I don't think Charles will kill me, but I think if we do a little contest, I think I could probably say 2 free tickets to the Salem Paracon.
See, that's awesome.
Yes.
So let's throw that out there. We'll come up with something. Maybe we'll do some serial killer trivia. Whoever
Yeah.
chimes in first will get some free tickets or whatever. So yeah,
There you go.
yeah. So
Yes,
that'll be good.
Rinaldi got spoiled, Marla.
Yeah.
He's itty bitty, but he has gained some weight.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks a little bigger than the last time I saw him too. So
Oh, well,
yeah.
he's showing out. He's showing
Yeah.
out. He's been home with me a
Awesome.
couple of days, and he's just showing out.
Well, where's my other girl? Where's my other girlfriend?
She's sleeping. Luna.
Luna didn't hear my voice.
She knew it
I
was
got my
showtime.
headset on.
She
Come
got too
on.
Yeah.
excited.
Come
Yeah.
on. She did get excited. Come here.
Yeah.
You should
Got
have
it.
seen him when I walked in from the airport the other night. It was
Yeah.
so cute. Oh my god.
Oh, that's Ginger.
She's got her little, she's
Yeah,
got her
Gingy.
cauliflower. Get it?
Nice.
Cauliflower.
She's so sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, my cats are freaking out right now. Just
I bet
all the
so.
stuff's moving around. They're stressed. I'm trying to figure out how to de-stress them. So, it's funny. Everybody asks me, so how's the move going? I'm like, I don't know. I'm more worried about my cats. I said,
Well,
I
you
can,
can
I can
always.
handle myself, but I always worry about my animals more.
There she is.
There she is.
Oh, she
Hi,
can't hear us.
Luna. You hear me?
There are. You can get them the
There.
little. Even the kitties, you can get them the little chewies that's supposed to help.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of stuff ready to go. I think the hard part's going to be influencing my oldest cat to get into the carrier. So it might take me a while to get on the road
I
when
would
I
put
finally
long
got to get on the
sleeves and
road.
gloves on because that kitty, if it get,
Yeah.
you may have scars. Yeah.
Yeah, and that cat has got muscle. So yeah,
Ooh,
and he's not a small cat.
she's so cute.
Luna.
Luna, she can't hear us. Take your headset so she can
Luna.
hear us.
She's ready to go to bed.
Oh, she's
Oh,
She wants her daddy. She wants to get in there and snuggle.
yeah,
Yeah, she
We
was
about to
ready.
be
She
done.
was on point.
yeah.
Aw.
That's the thing that's great. You know what's beautiful? Animals, they're the best. They don't judge you.
Hi, Marla.
So, yeah,
Oh,
that's
hey,
great.
say hey, Kathy. Oh, the online classes start tomorrow night.
Nice.
We'll be at Piedmont Technical College, and the online students will be able to participate. And it's not too late to contact me to get started on the online portion. And we're going to go several places. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a 2-week workshop.
Hey,
and
where's
we've
the
got a lot
class
of
tomorrow
things going
night?
on.
What location is the class tomorrow night for people?
It's in the email that they sent me, but they sent it to me as if I was a student. I never got the roster for the number of students.
Huh?
I
Oh, boy.
had or their names. So, we're doing that again.
Surprise! Here we are. So,
Yeah, here we
well,
are.
potentially, well, there might be an investigation going on, and I
Yeah,
think
we'll be, Matt's got us a really cool place, and then there's another place. We have a case.
if
So,
it's still going on in December, there might be a couple people might be stopping through South Carolina in December at around Christmas time for some Christmas
yeah.
spirit action that might go live on the network. So we'll see. That's in the planning. So we just throw the little breadcrumbs out there because of course there's a lot of planning behind it.
Oh,
But
it's Christmas. You throw glitter. No.
yeah, yeah. So,
Reindeer food. Poof.
there you
Reindeer.
go.
Yep.
Little breadcrumbs and pull out the Rudolph and all the other magic that happens. So yeah,
Nice.
perfect.
It
What's
helps
coming up
to get
next?
the right email. I'm looking to see if she emailed me today.
That's always a big question right before class. Where is it at? Where are we gonna be? And
Yeah,
I have no idea. So
I don't know. I live at the seat of my pants too. So
Okay, here it is. It says, well, she hasn't replied to me, so I don't know who's in, but it says, um,
She'll figure it out. It'll be okay.
What now?
Yeah. We're at the part of the show where we're still live, but we're
so it
talking
says
shop. Everybody is in on our they've joined our inner circle in life and all that with this conversation.
Yeah.
And this is what we do
This
all the time
course will
together
be
when we're
held
off the air.
Yes, it is. Room 116 of the C Building Conference Center.
Nice.
That's it.
All right.
Well, that's good.
C Building.
It's funny because these are the conversations we all have off the air. You know, I'll be on the phone with Lee. She's driving somewhere like in a different state, and we're chatting about all the things that we're trying to plan on doing. And it's crazy. And I'm just part of the network, but for them, all the stuff that they got to do on this network, please support it. Do your likes. Donate whatever you could do to keep it on, to keep the content going. You know, I love being on it and I love supporting it. And just if you guys love it too, support all the podcasts. Make sure you watch them all, share them all, whatever you can do to keep everything going. Because I tell you, the greater good's happening on this network, and I'm glad that I'm part of it.
And it's a lot harder than it looks, people.
It is. It is.
I promise. I can be with friends and I promise I'm working.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got some people coming. Raven Wolf, she's coming. You and
Nice.
Miss Dacia is gonna get your thing set up. And Lee's got some surprisey things kind of coming. I don't want to give everything away. And
a lot of planning going on right now. Behind the curtain, the great Oz is planning.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's great.
So
Here's you guys.
Raven's podcast is The Medium Frequency with Raven Wolf.
That is like the perfect name for a podcast from a medium.
She has a logo, but I was not done with the intro yet. It's on the logo, it's on there somewhere, and I've got it.
I think, she had asked me about that, and I referred her to Melissa Sarfine. She does all the digital media through Chaotic Goods for the Shaman and the Showman for all our stuff that you see for the Salem Paracon and all that. Yeah, that's who did it. She needed somebody, so I referred her, and Melissa did a great job for her. So that's going to be exciting. And that great job will show up on the network, so that makes it even better. So it's all shared in the family, so it'll all make each other look good. So
I'm going to sound like Carol Burnett, but it's time we say goodbye together.
Yeah, did you pull your ear for your mom? Yeah, pull the ear. Yeah, there we go.
You guys, you can't see it. We love each other so much. It's hard to
part ways for the night.
It is, because we get to see each other a couple times a year this year. So
yeah.
And I've been gone, so I miss my sissy.
You too. Welcome back, girl. So the intro that I did was a rough draft. Gwen is working on that. We've got a bunch of things for Darktober coming out.
And anybody that's in the network, if we don't have your stuff right yet, it is coming. Everybody knows I have a little oopsie that I got to get taken care of.
Plus, you have to reset your computer. There's been a lot of things. So
I tell you.
We'll fix them all.
Marla.
But I put my heart and soul into it, as Lee does, and Tom is a busy man too, and he's got better things coming. And
did we play? We did. No, did we
play
the commercial for Salem?
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
I was going to say, let me
You can play it again on the way out if you want. I don't mind.
So what I was going to say was, I love everybody.
Yep.
And let's all say goodnight and play your commercial. And we'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Earthquake. I feel an earthquake.
All right, here we go. Here is the commercial.
Carlos, say hey.
Hey, everybody.
Hey,
How's everybody doing?
what's up, my brother?
Catching everybody on the way out, huh?
Nice. Yeah, yeah. So Great.
guys.
Well, off we go. Time for biddy. Bye, girls.
Good night.
Say
Pee-pee
bye-bye.
time.
Wait a minute. Let me show you her collar. Let me show you her collar flower. See it? It's stick.
There we go.
Oh,
It's
Ah.
stick, just like her.
Nice.
Good night.
all right. You have a good night, everybody.
You show. You show.